Welcome back to the Investing Talk podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about Tuya,
Okay.
ticker symbol TUYA.
Oh, right.
And they've been making headlines in the smart home market.
Yeah,
Their stock has been on a wild ride,
it has.
up 19.2% in the last 3 months, but with some pretty dramatic dips along the way.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to try to figure out what's driving their performance,
Right.
where their potential for growth is, and why investors are both excited and a little bit cautious about this one.
Yeah, it's really interesting because they're operating in such an exciting but unpredictable market.
Yeah.
You know, the smart home market is just growing so rapidly.
It is.
And Tuya is right in the middle of it, providing the platform that connects all these smart devices that we're seeing everywhere.
Yeah, and they're putting up some impressive numbers.
They are.
Their Q4 2024 report really exceeded expectations.
Exactly. Revenue jumped 35% to $1.2 billion.
Wow.
And adjusted earnings per share were up 40% to $0.15.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, those are strong results, and I think that's what's
Yeah.
getting investors' attention.
Yeah.
But it's important to understand what's driving that growth.
Okay.
Tuya is really aggressively expanding into Europe and Southeast Asia, and those markets are really hungry for that smart home technology.
So they're in a good position
They are.
to capitalize on that demand.
Yeah, and analysts are predicting some pretty incredible earnings growth, too.
What are we talking?
Like 124.4% per year.
Oh, wow.
Plus, both revenue and earnings per share are projected to
Okay.
climb significantly.
So there's a lot of optimism
There is
surrounding Tuya.
a lot.
But you mentioned some caution earlier.
Right.
What are the potential downsides?
Well, we can't ignore
Yeah.
the volatility that we've seen
Right.
with Tuya stock. Just in early February, it dropped 10.2%
Oh, wow.
and then surged 22.02%.
Oh, my gosh.
So overall, the price has been swinging quite a bit,
Yeah.
about 23.8% over the last month.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that kind of volatility can be a red flag for some investors.
Okay, so even with all this positive news,
Right.
analyst projections,
Yeah,
there are still some concerns.
there are.
What is the Fear and Greed Index saying about Tuya right now?
It's currently sitting at 39,
Okay.
which signals fear.
Okay.
So this index basically takes the temperature of the market sentiment by looking at factors like volatility and market momentum.
Right.
A fear reading suggests that investors are a bit nervous,
Okay.
despite the overall positive outlook.
So why would investors be fearful when Tuya seems to be doing so well?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question.
Are there any specific concerns we should be paying attention to?
One thing that's being discussed is whether Tuya might be overvalued.
Overvalued.
Even with their strong performance.
Okay.
Now, overvaluation basically means that the current stock price
Right.
might not accurately reflect the company's
Okay.
true long-term value.
Gotcha.
Some analysts are arguing that even though Tuya is doing well, their stock price might be getting ahead of itself.
That's interesting. So even though the company's performing well,
Yeah,
there's this underlying question of whether the stock price is sustainable.
right.
And we have a key date coming up February 26th.
We do.
Right. Why is that date so important for Tuya and its investors?
That's when Tuya releases their Q4 2024 results.
Okay.
These results will give us a more up-to-date look at their performance and could significantly impact the stock price.
Okay.
Strong numbers could send the stock even higher.
Right.
But any sign of weakness could trigger a sell-off.
So we have a company with impressive growth,
Yes.
but also significant volatility.
Right.
And some potential concerns about overvaluation. It seems like there's a lot riding on these upcoming Q4 results.
Yeah, a lot of eyes are going to be on those numbers.
Yeah, but before we get too focused on Tuya's specific situation,
Right.
it's important to zoom out and consider the broader market context.
The big picture.
Yeah, what's happening in the overall market. That could impact Tuya's stock,
Right.
regardless of how well they're doing.
The S&P 500 saw a decent rise in January,
Okay.
up 2.8%, which suggests a relatively healthy market.
Okay, that's good.
However, there are some potential headwinds to consider,
Okay.
like ongoing trade tensions
yeah.
and general economic uncertainty.
So even if Tuya delivers a fantastic earnings report, and external factors could still impact their stock price.
Absolutely.
That definitely adds another layer of complexity for investors to consider.
It does. It makes it very interesting to watch.
So what does all this mean for investors who are considering Tuya? We've got a company with great growth potential,
Yeah,
a stock that's prone to some wild swings,
it is.
and a market that's a bit unpredictable right now.
Yeah, and that's the name of the game sometimes.
So where do we go from here?
Well, I think it means investing in Tuya right now
Yeah.
comes with both potential rewards and risks.
Okay.
There's a chance for significant gains,
Right.
but also the possibility of losses.
So no rash decisions
No.
based on FOMO,
Yeah.
fear of missing out.
Exactly. You got to do your homework.
Okay, so what kind of homework are we talking about specifically?
Well, first, take a deep dive into those financial statements.
Okay.
Don't just glance at the headlines. Really examine their revenue streams,
Right.
expenses, and debt levels.
So it's like becoming a financial detective.
It is.
Uncovering the story behind the numbers.
Exactly. And don't forget about competition.
Oh, right, of course.
Tuya isn't the only player in the smart home game.
Right.
There are some major tech giants out there.
Yeah, like
Amazon and Google.
who are competing for dominance in this space.
For sure.
So it's not just about how well Tuya is performing on its own,
Right.
but how it measures up against these industry giants.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we've got financials competition.
We can't overlook the global economic outlook.
Oh, right. Yeah, those trade tensions.
Right.
And economic uncertainties we mentioned earlier.
Exactly.
Those could impact Tuya's business.
They could, even if they're executing their strategy perfectly.
Right. So we have company-specific factors like financials and competition.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have to layer on these broader global economic trends.
The macro environment.
It sounds pretty complex.
It is complex, but it's not impossible to navigate.
Okay.
The key is to approach it systematically.
Right.
And be honest about your own risk tolerance.
So investing in a volatile growth stock like Tuya isn't for everyone.
It's not. It's definitely not for the faint of heart.
But for those who are comfortable with the risk,
Mm-hmm.
there's definitely potential for big rewards.
Absolutely. I mean, Tuya is at the forefront
Yeah.
of a technological revolution. If
Yeah.
they can execute their vision and overcome these challenges,
They could truly change the game.
they could be a major player.
Okay, so let's recap what we've learned about Tuya so far.
All right.
We have a company experiencing explosive growth.
Yeah.
With impressive financials and ambitious expansion plans.
Uh-huh.
However, their stock is prone to significant swings.
Very true.
And there are concerns about potential overvaluation
Yeah.
and the impact of external economic factors.
It's a lot to digest.
It is.
But hopefully this has given our listeners a
Yeah.
good foundation for understanding
This fascinating company.
this company. Yeah.
And remember, this is just a starting point.
It is.
We always encourage our listeners to do their own research,
Always.
read analyst reports, dig into those financial statements,
Yeah.
and really get to know Tuya.
Before making any investment decisions.
Absolutely. You've got to be informed and make decisions that align with your personal investment goals
Right.
and risk tolerance.
And speaking of getting to know Tuya better,
Yeah.
let's shift gears a bit and talk about the future.
Okay.
Imagine Tuya 5 years from now.
Do you see them as a dominant force in the global smart home market? Or will they struggle to keep up with the competition?
That's a great question.
What's your take on their long-term potential?
There are certainly arguments to be made on both sides.
On the one hand, Tuya has a lot going for them.
They do.
They're growing rapidly, they're expanding into new markets, and they're at the forefront of a technology that's only going to become more prevalent in our lives.
Yeah, you can't deny that.
But on the other hand, they face stiff competition,
Yes.
and the global economic landscape is always changing.
It's a very dynamic environment.
There's no easy answer.
No.
And that's what makes investing so challenging and so rewarding.
Absolutely.
It's all about assessing the risks and the potential rewards
Right.
and making informed decisions based on the best available information.
And that brings us to a key question for our listeners.
Okay.
We want to hear from you.
All right.
What's your take on Tuya's future?
Do you see them as a long-term winner, or are the risks too great?
Yeah.
Head down to the comment section and let us know your thoughts.
We'd love to hear from you.
We're always interested to hear different perspectives.
We are.
And while you're at it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button
Yeah.
and share this episode with your fellow investing enthusiasts.
The more the merrier.
The more informed we are, the better decisions we can make.
For sure. We love engaging with our listeners, so please don't be shy. Share your thoughts on Tuya and tell us what other companies or investing trends you'd like us to cover on future episodes.
And while you're at it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share this episode with your fellow investing enthusiasts.
Yeah, spread the knowledge.
The more informed we are, the better decisions we can make.
Absolutely. All right, so we'll be back next week with another deep dive into a company making waves in the investing world.
Until then, happy investing.
Happy investing.
It's fascinating to see a company like Tuya operating in such a high-growth, high-stakes environment.
It is.
They really embody the excitement and the challenges of investing in emerging technologies.
I agree. It's a really interesting case study.
And it highlights the importance of staying adaptable and informed in a rapidly evolving market.
Yeah, because things change so quickly.
The world of investing is dynamic. What's hot today could be old news tomorrow.
Exactly. You got to stay on your toes.
Precisely. That's why we encourage continuous learning and exploration in the investing world.
Always be learning.
Well, on that note, I think we've covered a lot of ground today regarding Tuya.
We've delved into their financial performance, their expansion strategies, and the inherent volatility surrounding their stock.
We hope this episode has provided you with a comprehensive understanding of Tuya and its position in the dynamic smart home market.
And we hope we've given you some food for thought.
Remember, this discussion is just the tip of the iceberg.
It is.
We strongly encourage you to conduct your own research, explore different perspectives, and delve deeper into the world of investing.
Do your due diligence.
And above all, don't forget to enjoy the journey. Investing can be an exciting adventure filled with learning growth and the potential for financial success.
It's a journey and not a destination.
Until next time, happy investing, everyone.
Happy investing.
And don't forget to subscribe to the Investing Talk podcast for more in-depth discussions on companies shaping our future.
We've got a lot more great content coming your way.
We'd love to hear your opinions on Tuya's prospects, so please leave a comment below.
Yeah, tell us what you think.
If you found this episode insightful, share it with your fellow investors.
Spread the word.
Thanks for listening.
We'll see you next time. Yeah, it's a wild world out there, for sure.
Yeah, so much to think about.
It is, and it changes every day.
So what can our listeners take away from today's conversation?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway is that Tuya is a really interesting company with a ton of potential.
Yeah.
But it's not without its risks.
Right.
And investors need to be aware of those risks before they jump in.
Yeah, they need to do their research.
Absolutely. Understand the company, understand the industry, understand the market.
And understand themselves.
Yes, exactly. Know your own risk tolerance.
Well said.
So yeah, it's a company to watch for sure.
It definitely is. So to our listeners out there,
yes.
What are your thoughts on Tuya?
We'd love to hear from you.
Leave us a comment down below. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, are you bullish on Tuya or are you a little bit more cautious?
We want to hear from you.
We do.
And if you enjoyed today's episode,
yes,
don't forget to subscribe to the Investing Talk podcast for more insights and analysis on the companies shaping the future of our world.
We've got a lot more great episodes coming your way.
And don't forget to share this episode with your friends, family, and fellow investors.
Spread the word.
The more the merrier.
Absolutely.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
See you later, 2022.